Hi everyone, this is Rainey. Today I'm going to be doing some canning. I'm going to can some meatballs from the bunch of ground beef that I have from a local farm that we get a beef from yearly. And it's fall time, so it's time to clear out the freezer, make room for the new beef that's coming in. I have about 20 pounds of hamburger that I still need to do something with, so I'm going to make them shelf stable by making Salisbury steaks in a jar and meatballs. Right now I have 5 pounds in this bowl. In the comment section, I'm not really good at doing this, but I'll put the link to, or at least the address to where the recipe that I'm using today. And you may have to deal with one of our new family members here. We have a new kitten named Luna, and she's over trying to cause trouble, if you can hear that. I'll introduce you to her in just a little bit. So let's get this done and over with. This is Luna. She joined us about a month ago. She was given to us by a friend who no longer could house her. So we don't have any cats at the moment. We lost our one cat that we had for like 20 some years. And we thought, well, that's probably good timing. It's about time we brought in another kitten. So she's sweet, but she's also ornery at the same time. And she gets into everything. So welcome to the family, Luna. Okay, so here's 5 pounds of ground beef that I've unthawed. Here we've got salt, onion powder, garlic powder. I get these in bulk from Azure Standard, if you ever heard about that. If not, I'm sure you could look it up, but it's AZURE Standard. Let's see, Worcestershire sauce, parsley, minced onion, paprika, some bouillon, and some black pepper. That's what's going to be going into the meatballs. I'm going to just go through and start mixing it up, and you can join me here in a second. Okay, so I have to actually half this recipe because her recipe that I'm using, it's Ginny Gao, I think it is, or Goff, Ginny Goff maybe. Like I said, I'll put it in the comment section. So let's get started. So if I'm gonna half this, I need half a cup of onion flakes, which technically is a fourth of a cup since I'm halving it, which looks like it's probably going to be a whole one of these. We need 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I don't know if that's the right way you say it. I know every single video someone always makes a comment about that. I have no idea. So you tell me. Well, I guess you can't. Okay, let's see. A tablespoon and a half of the beef bouillon. It's this. Tablespoon of garlic powder, now the last time I canned some, I didn't have you guys along with me, but I didn't have this particular recipe. Let's see, 2 tablespoons of onion powder, but basically you just can't use flour and egg, so you have to kind of just keep it to just dry herbs, maybe some onion if you're going to be canning it, because eggs and you know, flour, dairy and flour products and grains and rice and stuff like that can't be canned. let's see, 1 teaspoon of paprika. Let's see, 1 teaspoon right here. One teaspoon of salt. One teaspoon of pepper. And then 2 tablespoons of dried parsley. And I've got that this freeze-dried stuff. I just love these freeze-dried products. Okay, this is where you get your hands a little dirty. I'm gonna put my hair up here really quick. Worst thing you can do is get hair in your product. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just keep mixing this up. You wanna get it as mixed as possible so that you can make sure that every meatball has all of the good ingredients you just put in here. Boy, it already smells good. I think it's those onions, the dried onion flakes. Okay, I'll bring you back when I get all of this done. Okay, now that I have everything basically incorporated, I'm gonna make the meatballs. On her recipe, she says roll them to about 1.5 inch diameter, which I don't know, that seems about right. We're gonna pre-bake these so that they kind of hold their form. And I don't know if you can see that, but I'll put them up here. At 375 in the oven for like 20 minutes. So I have my oven preheating right now. I'm gonna continue rolling these out. Now I know I've seen some people like use like a scoop or something. That's gonna be way too time consuming. I don't need my meatballs to be absolutely perfect. No one needs their meatballs to be absolutely perfect, because once they're cooked and you have them in a sauce and you're eating them, who cares what they look like, as long as they taste good. Anyways, I'm gonna keep doing this and I'll bring you back right before I put them in the oven. Okay, so I have them all rolled out here. Oops, you can see right here, there's like, I don't know, there's like 40 on this one and like 36 on this one. Okay, so while the meatballs are cooking, I'm getting the Salisbury steak ready. So again, I got 5 pounds of hamburger here. And again, I'll also put the recipe link in the description so you can see this one. I just found it online. Looked great. I liked the ingredients that they put into it. And I didn't want something that tasted like a meatball or just hamburger in the jar. I wanted something that really did kind of give a Salisbury steak kind of flavor. So I'm hoping that this is what's going to happen. So this is what you use to put as your seasoning actually inside the Salisbury steak. So that's what's going to be going into the hamburger. And then in the broth, you're going to put in like a couple tablespoons of the steak sauce, a couple of the Worcestershire, and then the beef broth all into the liquid. So if I didn't say it before, both the meatball and the Salisbury steak will be put into jars, but then I'll fill the jar with broth up to like a 1 inch headspace, and I'll show you that when we get there. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and put the seasoning into the ground beef, and we'll go from there. So the timer just went off at 10 minutes. The reason why I only went 10 minutes instead of 20 is because since I have 2 racks full, I'm gonna be switching them you know, so that they get cooked evenly. Whoa, whoa, Luna. No, 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 no. Okay, let me do that really quick. We'll set it up for another 10 minutes. Luna likes to get up into anything, and so I was concerned that she was gonna jump up on that hot door. She's already jumped up onto the stove when it's been hot and stuff like that. Okay, so since I know that I have 5 pounds of burger here and I want to make like 1/4 pound patties, I'm gonna actually weigh out what a 1/4 pound looks like and kind of get an idea of, you know, how big that is, and then try to, from there, make my patties about that big. You want to make your patties small enough that they'll fit into a wide mouth jar. So, oh, look at that. Perfecto. Okay, so that's about the, like in the palm of my hand, kind of like the size of, what ball would this be? It's definitely not a baseball, something in between. Anyways, I think I'll start rolling these out to about this in the size, and then I'll flatten them out into a patty. Okay, so I got one of my wide mouth jar lids to kind of get an idea of what the size should look like. Now they are going to shrink a little bit, which is fine, totally fine. More room in the jar for the broth for the gravy. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do here. All right, here's what they look like. They just came out of the oven after 20 minutes. So they're still going to be probably pink or even maybe even a little raw in the middle, which doesn't matter because the pressure canning process is going to finish the cooking process. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing over here. I'm getting these balls of burger into 1/4 pound portions using the scale. It's working really okay. So here's all the Salisbury steaks. So I'm about to put those into the oven for the same amount of time at 375, 20 minutes, but I will alter the pans at 10. Okay, so I'm getting my canner ready, getting my broth ready. So there's 3 quarts of water in the bottom of this. That's the requirement of this particular pressure canner. I've got boiling water going here. I've already inspected my lid to make sure that everything's working, that this vent is not plugged. And I got my quart jars in the dishwasher, and I'm going to pull them out right now. Okay. All right, so let's start jarring up the meatballs. I have 2 cups of broth mixed up over here. I'm going to need more than that, but that's what I have right now. So we're just going to start throwing the meatballs into these jars up to a 1-inch headspace. And then we'll fill them up with broth. And I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. Okay, so I fit as many as I possibly could into 4 quarts. Right about the bottom of this rim here, or where this part here is about a 1-inch headspace, so I don't want to go above that with the meatballs. I have 5 meatballs left that wouldn't fit in here, and my son is getting ready for dinner, and so he's going to make himself a meatball sub with the last 5 meatballs and with some of my homemade pizza sauce. So now we're just going to fill this up to 1-inch headspace. Yeah, now this tells me about how much more broth I need. So I only was able to fill 1 and about 1/4 broth. Okay, so this is a debubbler, and it also has headspace measurements on this side. So when I have the edge of the jar here and I put my this part down in, you want your level to be right at that point. So that one's good, that one's good, good, good. Shove that down in there. So it took about 6 cups of broth to fill these. Yeah, that's great. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to debubble. So debubbling gets rid of some of the air pockets that might be hiding in between meatballs or underneath the meatball. So I'm just kind of basically moving the product around inside the jar to kind of disperse those potential air bubbles. I'm carefully doing it so I don't, you know, bust up the meatballs. That would be sad indeed. Okay, that's good enough. I'm gonna re-push down these meatballs. Okay, got to take care of my timer. And now it's time to clean up the rims. So that's good to use like a mixture of vinegar water. So let me get some of that really quick. So Trey decided to make a meatball sub, which is, well, a meatball sandwich. It's not a sub, even though at Subway that's his favorite sub. So we cut the remaining 5 meatballs in half, and he threw some cheese on there and some pepperoni, and he's gonna put this in. He's gonna put some of my homemade pizza sauce on it, and then put it in the microwave to melt the cheese and heat up the pepperoni. And then he's got a top he's gonna put on top of that. Oh, I guess he wants me to put it on. That's probably good enough. What do you think? You want more? Okay, he's gonna put it in the microwave. Okay, so I've got some vinegar in this bowl here. And let's get that out of the way. You're going to clean the rims of these jars really good. You don't want any debris on the jars. Plus, the vinegar will cut through the fat that's in the those meatballs, and there's lots of fat. I can actually see it at the top of the broth here settling. Try to get it off around the sides as well. I did inspect the rims here to make sure that there wasn't any chips. You do not want chips in there because one, it'll mess with the seal of the lid, but also you don't want food debris to get in those chips. Okay, that's probably good enough. The rest of the vinegar I'm gonna just throw in with the hot water for the pressure canner. That helps keep the jars nice and clean and clear. Here's Trey's meatball and pepperoni sandwich. He's about to put the top on it. Nummy. And that's dinner. Oop. Do it again. Okay, so now we're gonna get some lids on and some rings, and then we will put these into the pressure canner. And then the Salisbury steaks have gotten done. Finger tight on the rims. You don't want it so tight that air and stuff can't, come out during the pressure canning process. Okay, those are good. I'm gonna put them into the canner. All right, so let's get them into the canner, just like that. Okay, so the steaks are ready. And we are just gonna put 4 of these into each jar, if we can, hopefully. Perfect. So technique looked like it was pretty darn good for making the size of the patties. Whew, these are hot still. Okay. So that's basically a pound per jar. Though I unthawed 5 pounds or used the 5 pounds to do this, I think those packets are slightly larger than 5 pounds because I shouldn't have come up with the amount of patties I did if those were really 5 pounds. So anyways, well, what is it? 5? Yeah, I should have come up with like 20 patties, but I ended up with like, I don't know, 23 or something like that. Okay, so now we're gonna put in the tablespoon of, I think actually the recipe says 2 tablespoons per jar of the A1 per pint. And these are pint jars. This is A1 steak sauce. So I guess we'll just go ahead and go with the recipe. So it's 2 tablespoons of the A1 and 2 tablespoons of the Worcestershire. Okay. And then the rest is broth. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of debubble on some of these already, since the sauces are kind of hanging out on the top. Same thing goes with these ones. It's 1 inch headspace. You can see the liquid kind of bubbling. That's it, getting in between the patties. So we're going to kind of help it tap it a little bit. Kind of go down 4 sides. There we go. I've never done this recipe before, so we'll see how it turns out. It smells good, but then, you know, what could be wrong with all the ingredients we just put in here? So I can't imagine it not smelling good. Okay, so, ooh, wow, that Broth is definitely good. I'm checking headspace. We're a little high on this one. Just make sure that everything is down as much as possible. Still high, so we're gonna take some liquid out. Okay, that all looks really good. So I'm gonna vinegar wipe all of the rims and put the lids on, and we will get them into the canner and start processing them. Okay, so I have them all in. My pints I can stack. You can see that I have them on in between 2 jars. So I have 5 pints of the Salisbury steak and 4 quarts of the meatballs. Okay, so I have the lid on. I have the temperature on high right now. We are going to bring it up until we see some steam start coming through here, and then set the timer for about 10 minutes so it'll have a chance to steam and get all of the air out. And then we'll put the regulator on, and then we're gonna watch the pressure come up to about 5. And then I'm gonna start actually lowering the temperature a little bit so we don't blow past 11 pounds. So our target is 11 pounds of pressure. And then once it reaches that 11 pounds of pressure, we're gonna put the timer on for, what is it? I think it's 90 minutes. I'll let you know if that's not right, but I'm pretty sure it's 90 minutes. You have to go with the timing for your largest jar in there. So if I had all just pints, I think it's 75 minutes. But because we have 4 quart jars in there, we have to put everything at 90 minutes. So okay, so the timer just went off. So we are going to turn the heat all the way off. And we're just gonna let this come down all the way to 0 pressure. And then once the 0 pressure is off, we'll take the regulator off. Okay, so we are at 0 pressure. I'm gonna take the regulator off, and I'm gonna set the alarm. I'm gonna set the alarm for, or timer for 10 minutes. And then after that, we'll take the lid off, and then we'll have canned meatballs and Salisbury steak in 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and take the lid off. Bring it out. Looks like we have a little bit of, a little bit of siphoning. Hopefully not enough to cause us to have unsealed jars. I guess we'll find out. Ooh, those look good. Okay, I'll finish bringing them out. Still see it bubble in. These will be great meals for us coming into the winter. I know Daniel does a lot of our cooking during the week since he gets home before I do. And so I'm super lucky. Every single time I come home, dinner is ready as soon as I walk through the door. And he'll love these because he'll be able to take these just right off the shelf and pop the top, throw it with our homemade pasta sauce, and boil up some pasta, and he'll have dinner ready within less than 15 minutes. All right, guys, I had fun canning with you guys today, and until next time.